here, and as we showed in the group standing in the pregame, we got Trademark Esports, who's already qualified, however, taking on Fit here, who needs to at least win one of these two games if they also want to qualify for that quarterfinal stage. 2 losses here for them will put them in a tie with Vitriolic, and, they'll have to play a tiebreaker matchup. So Fit needs to at least win one matchup here. Trademark Esports, of course, really at this point, they're playing for seeding purposes, as well as a good old pride factor, as I like to say. But looking forward to an exciting matchup here. But as I did say as well, joined by Snoopy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, getting ready to do some casting.
Casting some tdM versus Fit here. So there were a couple of other matches that we were looking at. Unfortunately, some forfeits did happen. Apparently, Clam Milk ended up having to forfeit to SGTY. And then actually Black Fade ended up forfeiting to Team It's Gosu. So, unfortunate circumstances there, but hey, shit happens, I guess you could say. So here we are, though, with tdM versus Fit. $5,000 on the line, man. That's a lot of money, Snoopy.
Yeah, that's a good amount of money. I think that's why Fit really is going to want to win one of these games.
Yeah.
Because that's a good amount of money.
What do you think about Fit?
Well, I know that they went through a roster change recent. Well, I don't know how recent ago. It was probably about a month ago, right? They got rid of Fresh Pro?
Yes, they did. Nope. That was Team It's Gosu. Actually. Well, no, oh, wow, yeah, that was actually, a couple months ago. Okay, yeah, now I'm thinking something else. So, okay, yeah, a couple months ago, maybe even longer than that, actually, when Fresh Pro was a part of their team. But
okay, yeah, all right, my bad. But, yeah, I mean, Fit, I know I see Panny playing on Kezu's stream all the time. Mm-hmm. That's where I know him mainly from. I haven't watched too many of their games. I know a lot more of tdM, Black Fade. I know a lot more of those teams. So
yeah,
but they're definitely. I did put them in my top list because of their their victories and where they
stand, their results.
Yeah.
Of course.
Words for a second there.
you actually, you were one of the voters for the top 10 community rankings that you're just talking about right there. So, it was a mix for them, but they did end up, I believe they ended up finishing 9th overall on the official list, so for the honcast community ranking. So, and then of course tdM on the other hand, really undisputed #1 team in the HoN right now. I mean, as we saw in those rankings, they didn't get all the first place votes, but as far as the points that added up, I mean, it was pretty obvious that the community agrees that they are a top-tier team. So, B-Kid's back, by the way. That's something to note.
Yeah.
B-Kid made his way back from Korea. That's good.
They had Riser substituting them for a while,
Yeah.
Playing that the role that B-Kid would be playing, the side lane solo, playing a lot of Bubbles and Valkyrie.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, Riser, by no means a bad replacement to have for B-Kid, so I'm sure tdM, was happy to have him as part of the roster while B-Kid was on vacation. But he's back now, and a good timing, because, of course, DreamHack Summer is a week away. It is that close, so obviously you want to be preparing for such an event when it comes down to it. So, and B-Kid, as you may notice here as well, he is he's in that captain spot. He is selecting for the team. I'm sure it's ultimately a group decision, but at the same time, he is actually in the captain spot and, perhaps making the definitive decision when it comes down to it if there are any questions. So he has been doing that lately. Of course, Trofmodor used the other one to take that role. But anyways, the picks are happening here. We really got to start breaking down this specific game. Yeah. So let's go into it as we have some interesting things there about the bands. That's why we always start. So the bands. We are looking at Magebane, Silhouette, Ophelia, Parasite, Glacius, Moraxis, Tundra, and Pebbles. So, to look at this, nothing too stand out. It's good to see the Magebane band as always. What do you think about the bands here, Snoopy?
Definitely the only band that really stood out for me was the Silhouette band against tdM. I know tdM loves running Silhouette, and they usually do extremely well with Moon or Trofmodor on Silhouette.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
The Ophelia ban, I guess that I don't know if there's a Fit player that plays Ophelia extremely well, but it's always a good ban as well.
Was it banned? Yeah, that was the first band out there from Trademark Esports, so right off the bat. Don't want to have to deal with her. So, but yeah, overall, again, just really solid bands here. Nothing too questionable. The picks, though. The picks have wrapped up on tdM side, at least, with one more to go on Fit. So we'll start with Trademark Esports and see what we're looking at over there. So we got a Wretched Hag, Cthulhu Font, a Luna, Tempest, and how about that final pick there? The Madman coming to the table. So we get to see some interesting hero play here, going with the Madman. Been a while since I've seen Madman personally. on the competitive scene.
Yeah,
what do you make of that?
I think that they'll probably put him... that's actually weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's not weird because he has an escape. And he's probably a solid solo, but they might not even have to put him like that. But yeah, they will put him as a solo because they'll probably put Cthulhu Font and Luna together, right?
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. Yeah, unless they feel comfortable, maybe Cthulhu Font going the short lane, being on the Legion side or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. That is true. I mean, obviously, part of it depends on how they feel comfortable matching up against Fit's lineup when it comes to their laning phase. So it is going to be interesting though to see who Luna actually ultimately goes with. Obviously, though, again, I think that a lot has to do with it where how they expect to match up at least against Fit and whether or not we'll see a Luna with Cthulhu Font and Madman. But what do you think about Madman as a hero in general? I mean, are you surprised to see him here?
I think he could be worked into a lineup, but the only problem is he's got low life. Like, I don't think he has the same type of, carry ability as like a Sandwraith, because Sandwraith can farm and, teleport all over the map at the same time. But he has that escape, so early on he's actually pretty tough to kill if you don't have an Invis ward or anything like that, and as long as you're playing against someone who's a smart madman can usually do fairly well in a lane. And even as a suicide lane, which actually it looks like they're probably doing with him, they're going to put him long lane top. I think that's actually probably a good idea for that hero because they're going to have a tough time killing him, especially the solo bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going at too. It's definitely depending on how they're going to lane things, and I'm sure this is the most ideal for the Madman up there. The fact that he is going to be going 1 versus 1 against that bubbles could definitely work out. But yeah, I'm excited to see this Madman play. I will say, there was a bit of this was earlier on in the competitive scene, no doubt, but he was definitely one of the more powerful heroes, especially when bottle ferrying was still possible, where you could travel the bottle back and forth and. Of course, fill it up with a courier, then bring it back to you. I mean, we definitely saw. I know Fresh Pro is definitely a player that comes to mind that actually did that quite often on such a hero. So, Trophmortar, of course, you can't do that anymore, but I'm really excited to see what Trophmortar brings to the table here. And Madman, now, by all means, he gets that gash built up. Of course, his ultimate activated. I mean, he can tear through you like none other. Do you expect him to go for like a Rune Cleaver early on? I mean, is he going to go in farming style early on, or what's the deal?
I don't really think he will. Because he's going to be up in that top lane, and I think he might be under a little pressure. Probably the Nymphora might roam up there from time to time, but all he really needs is a shrunken head. I really think that's all he's going to need to do some damage in the team fight.
Yeah, that is a great thing about this hero because, as I said, with that gash there, the third ability with his passive, I mean, those crits, and especially if you activate the ultimate, you don't necessarily need big damage build-up items. I mean, you get that shrunken head, and you can still be dishing out quite a bit of damage as well as obviously surviving in those fights and being able to move around. So yeah, we'll see how that works out for them. But now let's go over Fit's lineup. Haven't done that just yet, focusing so much on the Madman. But taking a look at Better Looking Than You over here. Love that team name. Nymphora, Bubbles, Magmus, Armadon, and Valkyrie. So going with a pretty just solid all-around lineup over here. Of course, they are running a 2-2-1 setup. I mean, the lane's fantastic. Really, overall, I think Fit picked a very solid lineup here. What about you, Snoopy?
Yeah, definitely. They picked a lot of really high-tier heroes, Valkyrie, Magmus, and Bubbles. They're really never terrible picks.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about Magmus is I can never really say he's like a completely awful pick.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like Valkyrie's taking some pressure.
Taking a lot of pressure indeed. Not going to be enough for the kill, though, but you do see the Aluna Cthulhu Font combination coming out to play. And, the power throw hits, but Valkyrie just enough life right there. Was eating that tree, so the regeneration possibly, the saving grace for her. But you do notice, of course, she did go the arrow with her first skill as a result of still being level 1 instead of perhaps a leap or maybe waiting for that situation. So a little bit risky there, but it does end up surviving. Of course, in a 2 versus, and when she is paired up with the Magmus, I guess it isn't too surprising at the same time. They want to be going for the Bloodlust kill themselves. And if they catch a Luna, definitely expect that. But so far, the Cthulhu Font Aluna lane seem to be having the better time down here.
Yeah, I think he got the arrow because they had all 4 people bottom at first.
True. Okay.
Trying to catch that Tempest or maybe somebody walking out into the jungle.
Do you think that's a case though? I do get that, but do you think that's a case of maybe he should have still waited to get it until he at least saw somebody and then leveled up the arrow? Or
Yeah, probably, because you know what? You have 2 other stuns on your team, so you probably would have had plenty of time to actually level it up in the stun time.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
I mean, he's level 2 now, so all's forgiven.
exactly. Now, if he got bloodlusted there, then maybe it would have been a little bit different. But yeah, you're right. He is level 2 now. All's forgiven indeed, and the lane moves on. But yeah, this Cthulhu Fun Luna lane, man. I mean, they're doing a very good job so far. Cthulhu Fun is already 12-5 with his creep score. I'm guessing Valkyrie is trying to be the focus farm. It looks like she is, but only 4-2. So, is this surprising to you, or is this to be expected?
Well, Cthulhu Font does a lot of damage, so it's not really that surprising. Considering the type of support Aluna is, she does a lot of damage too, so if you want to trade her ass with Cthulhu Font, you're going to have to deal with Aluna. I mean, look at Aluna's base damage compared to... Well, I guess it's really not that high once he got the Ring of the Teacher, but early on, Aluna does a lot of damage. You know, when you play against Aluna and she hits you in lane, 4 hits, you're down to like 100 health.
Yeah, I've always said this. I really think she is one of, you could even argue, possibly the strongest laning presence in the game. I mean, because of her attack animation, the power, the auto attack damage, as you said, the range that she has, the power throw, the stun, the deja vu to get away in situation. I mean, it's just all around, just such a powerful hero.
Yeah.
In that laning phase, and I definitely think that's a big reason why we started to see her all of a sudden again. I mean, there was a phase where we never saw her, and then I think maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, we started seeing her picked again, and now she's really a go-to support hero. So.
Yeah, I think she provides a lot more utility than other support heroes because she gets a Hellflower and her damage skyrockets. She can chain a 5-second stun.
Yeah.
You know, she's the only Valkyrie and Luna, the only 2 heroes who have that long of stuns in this game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that would make. Or I think maybe Static Grip, maybe from Electrician, but
yeah,
of course that's a channel, a little bit different.
Polywog, but you know that kind of disables you at the same time.
Yeah.
She can stun for 5 seconds and then power throw.
Yeah, exactly. All right, take a look at the other lanes, though. Obviously, big going on down there. Kind of gone over that. And Cthulhu Von again, he already has a life tube, so well on his way to an early helm of the Black Legion. Middle lane, things have been going on here. It seems like Nifora and Armadon have been harassing Wretched Hag quite a bit, being played by B-Kid here for Trademark Esports, but Hag, you know, at the same time holding her own, at the very least getting levels, and as we usually say, that's what you at least hope for. But no doubt Armadon is having the much better time as he's currently 28-12. So Jolim right here just dominating.
Yeah, they're wrecking that lane.
Jeez. You just see them run up. Yeah, great Zealstone landed, just runs up with a Quill, and Wretched Hag just forced to blink away. I mean, nothing that Wretched Hag could do right there. So
yeah. When you put an Nymphora with a hero who's mana dependent, and the Wretched Hag's not going to have a good time. 2v1, you're never going to have a good time against something like that.
Yeah, but she is one of those heroes, of course, that definitely expects that at the same time, for the most part. That's why she is, one of the better suicide lane heroes in the game. Not too often you see it the middle matchup like this, but when it does come down to it. But it is safe to say, though, that on that point, I mean, if you are going to be 1 versus 2, the middle lane is, I guess the short lane might be more ideal. What would you say? Do you think the middle lane or the short lane's better if you're going to be 1 versus 2?
I would rather be short lane because do you see how he has to fight for the rune?
Yeah.
If he was lower, he wouldn't be able to fight for the rune like that. So that also gives another advantage to the other team. So I'd rather be at the bottom and be 2v1. Because that way, you're not losing the rune control.
Fair enough. But stuck in the middle lane though, so not the most ideal. But again, at least trying to make by his level 5, so pretty solid. But yeah, this Armadon, man. I mean, he is definitely up there already. He must have bought something because he's still sitting on his starting items, but doesn't have gold save up. We do have initiation in the middle lane. Armadon in a lot of trouble right now. Tempest running and doesn't have enough. Oh, there goes enough mana for the ultimate. He pulls it back in. Also gets Magnus, who ends up porting at the last second. So Armadon will fall. Then 4 goes down. Now Aluna's going to get turned around on Wretched Hag. May actually still be in a little bit of trouble. Blink, 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 blink. Oh, she has it up. She wants to use it correctly, though. There we go. After the bottle charges, will be fine. Madman joins the party as well. And Madman looking to finish off heroes that he can. Bubbles obviously in a lot of trouble. Does have a shell serve. Can he use it correctly, though? There he goes. And yes, it looks like he will be fine when it's all said and done. Madman going to scout around, maybe try to pick somebody off, but obviously, as you can see on the minimap, that's not going to happen. But that fight definitely coming out in favor of the Legion team right there. Solid initiation on their part.
Yeah. The only thing that I saw really that could have gone different was that Magnus stunned the Aluna instead of he could have probably killed the Hag. That was the only thing that I really saw that. I would rather go for a Hag than a Aluna any day.
Yeah.
Especially considering Hag's level 6.
Yeah, very true. But at the same time, you know, Z-Freak did a good job of coming in with a well-ended ultimate. I thought he actually didn't have enough mana, but he just barely had enough mana for that. Obviously, he got his Ring of Sorcery, so that kind of tipping him over the edge. But, yeah, taking out Armadon right there, as we just got finished saying, you know, he's having a very dominant time. So now he did just finish his Helm of the Black Legion, so he didn't really have a whole lot of gold pooled up on him at the time of death. So, you know, that you could say is maybe not make it necessarily the worst thing in the world, but still. So an efficient and necessary kill, nonetheless, on Armadon. But with that said, he does already have his Helm of the Black Legion. So, again, off to a very good start here.
You never want Armadon to have a Helm of the Black Legion this early, because it's actually relatively early for him to have it. He's above 300 gold per minute, 330. I guess he is the top farmer in the game, right under Moon Meander on Cthulhu Font, or right above.
Who would you rather have efficient farm this early on? You know, obviously, as you just stated, you know, Armadon is slightly ahead of that Cthulhu Font, but would you rather have a farming Cthulhu Font or a farming Armadon on your team, would you say, at this rate?
Let's see. On my team, I would probably rather have a farming Armadon, because Cthulhu Font, even though he's tough to deal with, he's not dealing massive AoE damage every time he lets, you know, go a spine or every time you attack him. He's hard to kill, but Armadon's hard to kill, and he can deal damage at the same time.
Yeah. Agree with you there. Yeah, definitely agree with you that I think the Armadon perhaps a little bit scarier when it comes down to, again, very similar items right now. Both have their helm and the little red booties on top of them. Madman at the top lane is taking a little bit of pressure, but not nearly enough for a kill. Just Bubbles letting him know that he's not going to let him have the easiest of times. But yeah, Nymph 4, by the way, here's skill build being played by Panny. Actually put the one level into Zeal and Grace of the Nymph, and now is maxing out that Volatile Pot, it looks like. So is going to be getting that heal benefit. But also, I'm curious, as usually with the Nymph 4, you know, are we going to start seeing some active, aggressive play with this Nymphora? I mean, their lineup, obviously she's paired with Armadon right now, so probably won't be porting him around, but other than Armadon, I mean, you got Valkyrie, Magnus, and Bubbles, all very, very worthwhile heroes in terms of porting around, setting up ganks. So would you expect, or would you like to see Nymphora play aggressive, or are you fine with him just sitting here babysitting Armadon?
If they do play aggressive, I think it's going to force tdM to play back, which will actually, you know, let that Armadon, it'll ease off the pressure. So I think porting the Magnus, the Bubbles, and the Valkyrie around is probably going to be best. Probably the Magnus and the Bubbles are the two that you'll probably see her port around.
Yeah, that would make sense. So middle tower obviously going down right there. Yolim on that Armadon, again, just why the hell not? More farm for him. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Moon Meander going to have to port away. He does trample on top of Bubbles now as a result of that trample right there. Z-Freak, though, running back in, has an ultimate. He's going to use it right there. We'll pull them in for a couple seconds, but he dies shortly after. And really no follow-up. But look at Beacon. Beacon showing off his swag right here, going balls to the wall. But Beacon will fall. He was trying to Bat Blast at the last second.
Close, yeah.
If he got that off, that could have even been 2 kills if it was lined up correctly, especially on that Bubbles. But yeah, able to get killed himself first. Great hold-off right there by Fit. That was very well played on their part. I don't know, do you think tdM perhaps played a little bit overconfident there?
Yeah, I do think it was a little bit overconfidence. Bubbles got a really great silence off on that Hag, though, and I think that's really what did the Hag in.
Yeah.
Because I think he just wanted to port in, use his Sonar Scream, and then Bat Blast and get a kill, and then he had a haste. He was just going to run away.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that silence definitely screwed that up, and obviously Mag was there to stun and set up enough damage to eventually get the kill. So very good hold right there from Fit, and giving them somewhat of a gold advantage in their favor, 650 gold per minute. But then you look at the experience right now, it is in favor of our Legion team. Trademark Esports up around 1,500 experience right now. You got Tempest, Cthulhu Font, and Madman, all level 8. You only have 1 level 8 on the Hellborn side. So, by the way, speaking of that, I mean, Madman continues to he's having an okay time. He's not taking off by any means. Is that surprising to you? I felt like he actually would be doing a little bit better.
He was basically even with Bubbles and Lane. I noticed that a couple times when I looked at their creep score, it was almost identical. It was within 1 or 2 creeps. So
yeah.
I'm not. Nymphora actually just ported Magnus to bottom.
Yeah, here we go. Magnus going to stun him right there on a Tempest. Of course, Tempest no ultimate for him. He's getting locked down. Great stun rotation right there. And yes, it will be enough damage to finish him off. You see Aluna just running away. Smart decision there from Sender. Nothing more she could have done. But there we go with the Nymphora porting already. As he stated, hits that level 6, and sure enough, using it right off the bat. In fact, they're going to go for Cthulhu right now. Moonman in a lot of trouble. The Sealson on top of that. In comes the Song of the Sea. Armadon diving the tower completely. Wretched Hag will join the party. Now remember, she does have her Bat Blast up. She can find that opportunity to trample out as Armadon gets stunned right there. But another port coming in as well. So Armadon's still chasing with those quills. That port, whoever it was, is going to cancel though. And this tower going to take a lot of pressure. Now while that was happening, Tralfamador takes out HoNor on that Valkyrie action with a double damage ring, it looks like, and he's going to push that tower himself. But bottom actually still not over. The Magma Stud just missing right there. But again, this tower will fall. Is tdM going to do much to save it? It doesn't look like it. A vulnerability is going to be used, but that would just delay it as it goes down shortly after. So once again, it seems like Fit does have the better time right there, as Mammoth is forced to fall back too from the top lane.
Yeah, I don't know why they... I guess they really just wanted to kind of scare the Cthulhu off the tower. They probably knew they weren't going to kill him, because they put pretty much everything they had on him, and he just ran away. It's a great thing about that hero.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great thing, but at the same time, very annoying thing when you're going up against him, because that's what he does. That trample, that's a great thing about that trample tool as well. I mean, it's so good for obviously initiating and getting stun set up, but it is such a good getaway tool, especially considering the fact, it goes over things like fissure stuns and through mummy walls and things like that. So all those damn objects that get in the way. But Mad, that kill for him at the top lane, obviously a pretty big deal, and he is starting to jump up a little bit. But again, Nymphora porting in, and he's going to stalk away before too much happens, it looked like, and so should be fine. Doesn't have a homecoming stone though, so finding himself in a little bit curious position, but he will be fine at the end. So he did go Steam Boots first, and now he does have a life tube. So again, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I guess Nullstone could be a possibility here too. What do you think about Nullstone? Would that be smart?
Yeah, I do think that's possible too. Actually, no, I really don't, now that I think about it, because look at I mean, maybe for a Hellflower, but he probably wouldn't need to get that until later. He might actually be going for the Ruined Axe. It's possible, but the only targeted spell on the other team is Snot from Armadon.
And that's where it's obviously really useless against that. But we do see Armadon at the bottom lane taking a bit of pressure, but good response once again from Fit. And they're chasing the back. Cinder going to get caught right here by the Kelfo. We'll try to pour it out, but no, the Magnus Lava Surge comes in, and Ascender will fall. So again, another good catch from our Hellborn team coming out. As a great response. The port's coming on time. Armadon was taking a lot of pressure right there, but welcome to Armadon. It's pretty difficult to kill him, especially with the early farm that he has. So, but going back to that map in Nullstone, I think you are right. If he does choose to go Nullstone, it really would simply be for that Hellflower, so that he doesn't get jumped by, say, that Bubbles or whatnot, and get Hellflowered right off the bat. So, so that you could argue that maybe that would be efficient enough, but as you said, maybe just get that later then if you are. So we'll see. We'll see what he does and eventually turn that left. Nice heal stun right there from Panny, actually coming out on both sides. The arrow's going to come in as well. The 2-second stun. The volatile pod. The nuke does hit. The auto attack will hit as well, and Wretched Hag will fall. Wow. Great job between Jonas and Panny right there to take out Wretched Hag. So B-Kid, again, getting a little bit too up there and ends up falling. Yeah.
I think they're really using their stuns to their advantage, because that's one of the things that you need against Wretched Hag, is you need to be able to lock her down. And they have 3 great stuns on their team, so I didn't see how they actually got up there. Did they port up there, or were they all just kind of in the area?
They ported up there, I believe it was. I'm actually not too sure on that. I believe they did.
I don't think it was Nymphort.
Maybe it wasn't actually. Yeah, I was just looking at that too. So maybe it was just Homecoming Stone. Wasn't paying full attention to that, so not sure.
Yeah, I caught the end of it. So
okay. Well, you're right. You're right then. Oh, Cthulhu going to get jumped right here by Lava Surge. Still don't follow. There's the Song of the Sea, but again, just like Armadon, Cthulhu is a beast and a half. He will trample away, and the support is coming in right now from the Legion team. You see Zerfrick, he does have an ultimate ready to go, but Cthulhu will eventually be picked off. Great job by Fit once again, chasing him down. Luna, on the other hand, as well, will also fall as a double tap coming out right there for Bobusk on that bubble. So again, Fit seems to be taking control as far as the momentum of this game, as far as the pace of it. I mean, they're really starting to play aggressive right now at tdM, and it is working here for Fit.
Yeah, definitely. Just those 3 heroes, Nymphora, Bubbles, and Magnus, they're doing a lot of work. You can see just from their kills and their assists that those 3 heroes are really the ones that are making the difference in this game.
If you're Trademark eSport... Oh, sorry about that.
And I was going to say that I don't think I've seen Trouf in a fight since he ported mid.
Yeah.
He's been kind of just staying top, trying to push that tower. And they just send one person to deal with him, and he would be a huge presence in those fights.
Exactly right, and that's actually something that I definitely was just about to bring up right there. I mean, Madman is definitely great hard carry hero. Obviously, you see him right here. He's actually doing a lot of damage to Magnus, but we'll be fine as stalks away in the end because of the support that came in. But Madman, a big benefit of him as well is the fact of that the stalk and the barrel roll. How powerful those abilities are earlier on in the game. I mean, you can actually be a pretty good assistance for your team in those team fights simply because of those abilities. You don't need to have big items to be doing mass damage in those team fights. And I think you're right to definitely say that HoNor, he hasn't been involved. Obviously, that one kill came as a solo situation against Valkyrie at the top lane when he was 1v1 against her. So, but he's been living at this top lane. You can argue that that may be a problem so far for tdM, because the biggest thing about it is that, okay, if he's camping a lane, I mean, that's fine. I mean, we do see it a lot of times, especially with hard carries, but at least have very good GPM. We do see the Valkyrie Prism going off, though, and there goes the jump from Magnus. Magnus lining up that eruption, and that's going to be so much damage right there. Aluna and Tempest easily fall. Yeah, that was just, again, very well played by Fifth, and then 4 report and the Valkyrie Prism to help them initiate. And the easy double tap kill for the team right there. So, I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like Madman, I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have this game if he continues to just sit up here farming this top lane.
Yeah, I think the Armadon he's a force to be reckoned with at the moment because he's farming over 400 gold per minute. It's ridiculous.
Madman's only 283 GPM. I still can't get over that. It seems like he's living up there, yet the GPM isn't showing.
Yeah, well, every once in a while, you know, they send a hero up there. They'll send like Valkyrie or Bubbles, or even, you know, they'll put a gank on him, and they do have that lane ward, so he's got to be careful. And yeah, he's playing it. You know, he's not dying, so that's not terrible. But it's harder to farm when you have that hero there, that constant threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just a smart play by Fit, no doubt. I mean, with the way that they're addressing this Madman up here. So, you do see once again, he will need to be a little bit careful. Obviously, Valkyrie's up here, so is Armadon, but I guess Armadon's just going to sit there camping the jungle, or farming the jungle. Obviously, Sustainer finished on Madman, so that means no Helm of the Black Legion, at least, going to be picked up on Madman. And instead, it will be that Nullstone or Rune Cleaver.
We got portal keys on both Bubbles and Magnus now.
Magnus as well, wow. Yeah,
so that's going to be huge. If they can get him for it pretty much level 11, then you know there's going to be some serious trouble.
Well, you see right here, Magnus jumps in as an M4 reports, and there's the dust use as well. Not even necessary, though, as the lockdown with a 2-second arrow on top of that. Way too much damage for HoNor to stalk on out of there. So there you go. A perfect example. You talked about that ward, that lane ward that they have set up. I mean, they are addressing this Madman quite a bit throughout this game. And once again, they do so, and now this is the first death that they got out of him. So it continues to look gloomier and gloomier for Trademark Esports as this game progresses. But Trademark, they're doing some counter-pushing in the meantime here.
Yeah, I think that's really all they can do. They wouldn't be able to defend this, so they're just going to trade an easy tower, and they actually might do some... Yeah, they're going to do some damage to him, probably just run away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we see right here, in fact, a jump in from Magnus. That portal kill. Great line stun right there, as you stated, on Tempest and Aluna. That camp fill coming as well. Tempest will be forced to hold his ground. Will he actually ultimate right here? Probably would be unnecessary, as, yeah, he is just absolutely dead. Even took the 5-second arrow in the face. So, Tempest gets picked off after that push. As you say, you know, tdM kind of in that desperate situation. As early on as it is, only 21 minutes. They are kind of in that situation of really needed to counter push when possible. We see another pick happening as Aluna actually stuck around for a little bit too long. And those portal keys, no doubt, already playing a huge role here for better looking than you.
That's really what made those 3 pickoffs possible. Well, 2, actually. What made them possible was the fact that, you know, they could just jump in front of them and be like, no, not happening.
Yeah.
Port up top, Magnus ultimate.
Sorry about that.
And they get the deny. Wow.
Wow, yeah. Sequence right there on Magnus gets the deny, and 4 will actually take the death, though, as a result. So I do apologize for that. My camera was actually stuck on somebody. It was not cooperating right there, but did catch the tail end of it, and good deny on the tower. I mean, that is apparently was some big plays right there from Magnus coming out. And Sequence, he's been having a hell of a game, so definitely deserving credit. I mean, he's 3-0-8 already here in this game. So triple stacked Ancients going on in the meantime for our Hellborn team. Armadon just going to turn his back and let the spines do their work, as Valkyrie also assisting. Barrier Idol already finished on him. I mean, Jesus, he is just so much farm.
He is, wow, he is ridiculously farm. 450 gold per minute. That's fantastic.
I'm just as shocked as you. I mean, he also has 1,600 gold saved up. I mean, he's becoming quite the issue here for our Legion team. I mean, you got a Wretched Hag that's level 11. I mean, obviously she gets in there, good initiation, Sonar Stream, Bat Blast, a lot of damage. Barrier Idol comes out from Armadon, and all of a sudden Wretched Hag's like, well, I didn't do too much in that fight.
I tried.
I tried my best. I don't know. It's your guys' turn. Yeah, really, I think tdM is in a state of, and tell me if you agree or not, but Madman, they just need to surround this Madman turtle long enough to just have him farm. I mean, it's basically outlasting the Fit right now at this point, preventing them from overwhelming them here.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, they just need to, I don't know, they need a good Tempestol. I mean, but they have so many things to cancel it. It's just, I don't really see it happening, to be honest. But tdM surprised me in the past.
Yeah.
They are definitely probably, there's a reason why they're generally considered the #1 team. It's because they can pull out some amazing things when they have great team play. They're one of the best teams I've ever seen for team play. It does look like,
sorry, you're done.
The Madman picked up a broadsword, so he is going for a Runed Axe, but this is really ridiculously late to get a Runed Axe.
Yeah, I don't know. It is just a case, though. Obviously, a Rune Cleaver will help recover his farm in a sense of also really making it that much more efficient, and you could argue then he can start snowballing that way, but yeah, it's to get it this late, as you stated. I mean, the fact that he still doesn't have it, I mean, he still needs that second broadsword, which he will have shortly. In fact, there we go. A 24-minute Rune Cleaver is not necessarily what you're looking for on a hero like Madman, so not bad, but not ideal.
See, the only problem I have with it is Bubbles how much gold Bubbles has saved up. He's probably going to be going for a Hellflower next, so he'll have that Hellflower done, and I don't think Madman will have a Nullstone or even a Shrunken Head to... And once you get rid of Madman's ability to go invis, he's kind of easy to kill.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, not only with the invis, but the movement speed that it provides as well to help him get away, and the fact that it phases him, so kind of like Ghost Marchers, kind of run through everyone is always a nice thing to have. So, but yeah, the Hellflower will definitely screw him up. So I agree with you there. But he's got the Rune Cleaver now, nonetheless. He is going to farm some triple stacked Ancients, and I was actually going to bring this up to you before he did it, but we do see Z-Freak. He does go the portal key, and I Tempest portal key. What is going on here? No, obviously that's not strange, but Z-Freak is known to go for an Astrolabe, even a Shrunken Head before even going that portal key. But this game, I guess he feels it necessary. Maybe it's because of the start that he had or what they're going up against, but he finds it necessary that the portal key makes sense here. I mean, does that surprise you knowing it's Z-Freak or?
Well, I think that Hellborn, as you can see, they have 5 people at bottom. They plan on pushing, so they plan on team fighting. So maybe if it was earlier in the game, he would have, if his farm was better. I mean, his farm is at 230. If it was better, like 300 or something like that, he might have gone one of those other items first. But I think that he realizes they need a good Tempestol. They need to just get them all together, and I think the portal key was probably a better choice in this situation.
You said it though earlier. I mean, good luck getting an efficient ultimate off with the lineup that they have. I mean, 4 to the 5 heroes, of course, have a way to get them out armored on. Being the only one that doesn't, but the other 4 have very solid ways of stopping that ultimate. So it will be difficult, but perhaps that is what it's going to take for Trademark Esports. The bottom lane will go down, or the bottom tower will go down right there, as we see. You see a stock coming out from Madman, but he's not going to go in too far. As there was some counter-pushing attempt going on in the meantime, but again, Fit is quick to react to it as soon as they get the bottom tower kill, port up top, port in the middle, and Fit is holding off those secondary tower pushes. So just very efficient play here from better looking than you, I must say. Coming out from them. So our Hellborn team looking pretty impressive here against tdM. Yeah,
they really are. They're not overcommitting their teleports or anything like that and causing problems like that. Because let's say 3 people teleported back at once, if before they kill the tower, they're like, oh, there's pressure on the tower, Then tdM could teleport back and they could instantly take a team fight with a Tempestol or something like that. They definitely have the right idea on, just enough counter pressure to apply to save their tower and still take the other tower.
Yeah. Shrunken Head is, I would guess, being attempted to be made here by Madman now. So he's got that Mighty Blade, 1,000 gold saved up. As you stated, and definitely agreed, Shrunken Head will be very, very useful here for Madman. However, I will say, you know, since it has taken such a long time, and our Hellborn team is very good farm for them, you got heroes like Armadon and Valkyrie, who are dishing out a good amount of physical damage as this game moves on. So obviously that's where the Shrunken Head won't necessarily be as efficient, but ooh, okay, he does actually have it right there. So, or did he actually have the Warhammer? This farm has actually really increased then.
Madman just bought it?
Yeah, he bought the pattern. I don't know. Did he have the Warhammer in the stash is what I'm wondering. Because he definitely bought the pattern right there. So, if he actually has a Shrunken Head
I don't know where he would have pulled out. Wow. What? Oh, he must have gotten some stacks in the jungle because his GPM just skyrocketed.
So that's what I said. I was like, holy, where did that come from? Well, I mean, the Rune Cleaver, it does help. And he did have those ancient stacks and everything, so.
I take back what I said about the Rune Cleaver being too late. Take it back completely.
It's never too late.
I didn't even look in the jungle, you know? I guess that's my bad.
That is true. That's actually a very good point. I mean, obviously, you know, again, a top-tier team, if not the #1 team in the world, according to a lot of people, you would expect that jungle to be stacked as it was. Again, Cinder, I'm sure, a big part of that. And so you get that Rune Cleaver, and your farm just completely jumps up as a result of that, as we've seen here. And you see right now, he's pushing that middle lane. Armadon going to take a trample here at that top lane push, though. 2-second stun coming out from Aluna. There's the Glacial Blast coming out as well on top of him, but not going to be dealing enough damage. But look at that middle lane now. Base Tower taking pressure here in favor of Trademark Esports. So there we go. The Shrunken Head has been finished now on Madman. It is official, as he did go the pattern first, now has the Warhammer, so it is done. So he's got a 10-second Shrunken Head to use if they feel it necessary going into this fight. You see through the fight in the front lines. Valkyrie is sitting back there. There's a stun. The triple completely missing Armadon, but he did get stunned. 4.5 seconds still on the Z-Freak in the background with the arrow, and it looks like things may be starting. Valkyrie Prism going off. The tower goes down. The stun from Aluna. There goes a Magnus Eruption jumping, and Aluna will fall through the fight in the midst of it all. But the BKB activated by Tralfamador right there. The Shrunken Head is off, and he's tearing through Armadon, gets him killed. Now the Tempest ultimate was canceled immediately, but Tempest is still alive. Cthulhu gets picked up, but you see Wretched Axe. She is forced to blink away, and Madman just running in the opposite direction after getting the pick on a panty right there. So he does get a double tap, but he needs to look to come back in here because Tempest is dropping, and Tempest will fall. I see Magnus goes down, but Wretched Axe will go down as well. And right now it is just Madman, the sole survivor. Both Armadon and Nymphora bought back. You see Nymphora ports them in.
Yep.
And they're going to take out the racks. Very efficient play from Fit right there.
I mean, you saw what the Shrunken Heads did, though. I mean, Hag and Madman both had Shrunken Heads. They couldn't even touch them until the Shrunken Heads were off.
Yeah. It's a big deal. I mean, it definitely helps. Valkyrie at the same time, though, she's kind of been having a quiet game herself, but she is actually dishing out a good amount of damage now, of course, with that Geometer's Bane. And they're going to go right to that middle lane here, and that tower will fall. So Madman, of course, trying to do what he can. Obviously, Z-Freak did buy back earlier, but died again. So this melee Rax is starting to fall. Will Fit commit to this? Port coming in. Valkyrie will fall. Of course, Token of Life going to be activated right there. Comes right back up. Go through the fight. Joins the party, though. That treble will miss, though, on Nymphora. And Nymphora maybe fine when it's all said and done because of that. Now they turn around on a Cthulhu Font, and Cthulhu Font will end up falling right here. The Snot is just too powerful. Madman just stalks away. So Fit is just ruthless right now. It is just too much here.
I think they kind of have to be, because if Madman gets any more items, he's gonna you know, pretty much roll the team.
Yeah.
They had these 2 buybacks to actually get what they got now. So
very true.
they actually bought. Yeah, actually.
See right there, Bubbles trying to pour it out. Oh, he's going to get caught. Oh, the nice arrow from Valkyrie. And Madman may actually fall. He gets that Shrunken Head off the stock, but it's not going to be enough. He will fall to that physical damage. Magnus jumps back out with an eruption for the ages right there. The hat trick comes out, and that is how it will finish. GG, well played. Wow, that just ended so instantly right there. As soon as that Magnus ultimate came in from sequence, tdM was like, okay, that's over. No chance. What a finish.
They actually put up a really good fight at the end there, though, tdM.
Yeah.
But Fit picked the perfect time to push. I really couldn't have think of a better time, you know. Tralf just got his Shrunken Head as he was, like, porting back to base, and they were pushing the base tower. I think if they had waited any longer, they really would have had a really difficult time pushing that base tower.
Indeed. I mean, that was, that just relentless, aggressive play there by Fit, especially at the end, was just so much. I mean, I love the buybacks too on Panny and Yolan right there. Of course, Armadon and M4, and then she ported him back right into the fight once again as soon as that was done. So just very smart play, and I think you were definitely right too. You know, they knew that was the timing, and so they took maximum efficiency, maximum exposure out of it, and it worked out in their favor big time. So congratulations to them, as they do take the first game here. Again, this 2-game series here in the group stages of the Cooler Master HoNor tournament. $5,000 prize pool in this event. Now, that puts us at Trademark Esports. They're now 4-1. Fit is now 4-1 as well. So at this point, Fit will be moving on with tdM to the next round. However, now they're playing for seeding. If whoever wins this will have the higher seed in that quarterfinal stage. And in a very, very quality 8-team tournament, that's a big deal. So that's definitely what is still on the line here. So, but any final words, Snoopy, before we move on?
No, I think Han Portal actually played. Fit played extremely. I was reading the brackets to my left.
Yeah,
they played an extremely